Good evening, and thank you for being a part of the Maine South Athletic Program. My name is Andy Turner, and I'm the Athletic Director at Maine South. Prior to this presentation by your coaches, the Athletic Department, and Maine South Administration would like to share some important information with you as you prepare for your participation with our athletic programs. During this presentation, you will hear from our principal, Mr. Sean Messmer, who will talk about sportsmanship and the value of athletics in the educational process. Mr. Barrett, the Assistant Principal of Activities, who will discuss our 24/7 Code of Conduct policy. I will discuss our department's focus on student-athlete safety and hazing and bullying. Mr. Bornoff, the athletic trainer, will discuss concussions, steroids, and training room policies and procedures. At this time, I would like to introduce our principal, Mr. Sean Messmer.
Welcome back to what I'm sure will be another successful year in athletics here at Maine South. You've heard me say before to the student body that Maine South is a very special place. There are schools that never compete for a state championship in the entire history of their programs. Here at Maine South, winning league titles and competing in postseason play is not only routine, in many ways it's expected. Do not take this for granted. Winning is not a foregone conclusion. The coaches we have here and the support your parents provide is second to none. That, along with your hard work, is what has made Maine South a force to be reckoned with on the athletic fields. When I talk about Maine South athletes, I believe I pay them the highest compliment when I say, we do not always have naturally gifted athletes, but we do outwork every other program we face. You should be proud of that accomplishment. Given that we are often under more scrutiny than many other programs because of our success, whether we like it or not, our level of success requires each and every one of us, each and every athlete, coach, family member, and fan, to give the highest level of respect to one another, to our opponents, to the officials, and to the fans of our opponents. Not just when we're on the field, but we're in the stands as well, cheering on our brothers and sisters in other sports. At Maine South, it's not only expected, it is required for us to act humbly in victory and respond graciously in defeat. This is real character in action, and I expect that from every one of our athletes, and I know you'll rise to that occasion. When people speak of Maine South athletics, we need to do everything in our power to guarantee that they say we are well coached, that our athletes are hardworking and tough, and that our program is a class act. Additionally, Maine South exemplifies the term scholar athlete. Remember, we can't win if you're not on the field. Athletics and academics require you to be organized, planned, and dedicated. Participating in athletics makes your school experience all the richer and will create friendships that last a lifetime. Do not put that in jeopardy by not taking care of business in the classroom. If you do not get the job done there, you'll miss the opportunity to get the job done on the playing field. I have every confidence that you will carry on our traditions well. I'm so proud of our athletes and all that they represent. So let's get out there, let's have a great season, good luck, and now over to Mr. Barrett for a few more words.
Hello, my name is Dave Barrett, the new Assistant Principal for Students here at Maine South. I'm looking forward to meeting and working with all of you in the very near future. I believe that one of the most important parts of high school is what happens outside of the classroom. I think that being a part of athletics in high school is an essential part of learning and growing. At Maine South High School, there's an excellent tradition of athletics that Maine South and the community of Park Ridge should be very proud of. Being a student athlete comes with a lot of expectations and responsibility. As a student athlete at Maine South, you're going to be held to a higher standard. When you wear the hawk on your chest, whether it's in the community, at an away contest, or in the halls of Maine South, you're expected to represent your family, team, coaches, and school with the utmost honor and integrity. With that in mind, I want to discuss with you a district policy that Maine Township has in place that holds students involved with extracurricular activities accountable for their actions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This policy is known as the Extracurricular Code of Conduct, also known as the 24/7 policy. This code of conduct is in effect 24 hours a day, every day of the calendar year. It applies to incidents of prohibited conduct on or off school property, whether in season or not, and whether school is in session or not. Violations of the code accumulate throughout a student's high school career. The policy states that any criminal activity is prohibited. I'm not going to give a list of things you can't do, but I want to make sure that everyone understands that this policy is more than just about the illegal use of drugs and alcohol. This includes, but is not limited to, items like vandalism, fighting, bullying, including cyberbullying, and inappropriate uses of social media. The potential consequences of violating the 24/7 policy is significant. On a first offense, the individual can lose up to 40% of their extracurricular activities. On a second offense, the individual can lose an entire year of extracurricular activity. And on a third offense, the individual will be excluded from all extracurricular activities for the remainder of their high school career. That, in a nutshell, is the extracurricular code of conduct. Athletes, you put in hours upon hours of hard work. You sacrifice your time. You go above and beyond to represent Maine South and your family and school, and we are very, very proud of you. Please make sure you're not only making the right choices, but also help each other out in making good choices. Don't put yourself or your teammates in harm's way of violating the 24/7 violation. It's not worth it. You've invested too much to risk it all. In closing, I'm really looking forward to getting to watch all of your competitions this year, and I wish you the best of luck.
I want to take the opportunity again to thank you for being a part of the Maine South Athletic Program. We believe that participation in athletics is an important part of the athletic process. The development of physical capacity of our student athlete complements and enhances the intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and social development of our young men and women. That said, nothing is more important to our coaches, athletic department, and administration than the safety of our student athletes. Hazing is defined as when an act is committed against a student or a student is coerced into committing an act that creates a substantial risk of harm to the student and or any third party. The student being initiated into or affiliated with any school group, club, athletic team, grade level, activity, or organization. Bullying is similar to hazing, but it can happen at any time without being associated with entrance in or acceptance to a group. The inappropriate use of social media with profanity and inappropriate remarks about teammates, opponents, coaches, and other students may be classified as cyberbullying. The use of social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, YouTube, and Snapchat in an attempt to cause harm, to humiliate, will not be tolerated. Our athletes are held at a higher standard of conduct and are expected to carry themselves with class and character 24/7. Do not say, write, tweet, send, or record anything that wouldn't feel comfortable repeating in front of your parents, teachers, coaches, teammates, or media. With today's technology and the use of cell phones and cameras, there's nothing that's kept private. So carry yourself in a manner that you or your family, your coaches, and teammates can be proud of. Hazing is detrimental to the team and its participants. Breaking down, humiliating, and or embarrassing teammates is not a form of bonding. It pulls teams apart if you suspect bullying or hazing. Refuse to participate. Do not be a bystander and stand up against it. Report it to your coaches, the deans, the athletic director immediately. You may also use our anonymous reporting system. Our coaches have received training and will be vigilant in recognizing and reporting any form of hazing. Teams are bonded by playing and working together and supporting each other. Team building activities, team dinners, outings, and community service are great alternatives to hazing activities. We are all Hawks and will support each other. Hazing and bullying will not be tolerated. Consequences will be administered as appropriate and may include 24/7 code of conduct violations. And now, I would like to introduce you to our athletic trainer, Mr. Jerry Bornhoff.
Hi, I'm Jerry Bornhoff. I'm the head athletic trainer at Maine South High School. I will talk to you today on 3 topics. The first being medical policies and procedures. Maine South has a fully operational medical facility staffed by 2 full-time athletic trainers who can evaluate, treat, and rehabilitate any and most injuries. If your son or daughter is seen by any medical doctor, they must have a doctor's note to be able to return to their sport. The note has to be signed by a medical doctor only. Otherwise, we will not be able to accept the note. The next topic is steroids. Steroids are illegal to have, distribute, and use unless prescribed by a medical doctor. Any use other than prescribed is prohibited by the Illinois High School Association. To restrict the use, the IHSA will do randomized drug tests at any school in the state of Illinois. In years past, it was only done during the state playoff series, but now it is year-round. The symptoms of steroids are many. If you would like more information, contact your family doctor, your son or daughter's coach, or myself. Other sources can be found on the IHSA website under Resources, then Sports Medicine. The final topic is Maine South's concussion policy. A concussion is a temporary interruption in the way the brain processes information. A concussion occurs not only via blunt trauma, but also through multiple minor events. Forceful contact does not equal a concussion. Symptoms include a headache, dizziness, nausea, memory deficit, balance problems, and just not feeling right. Being the parent and guardians, you know your child better than anyone else. If you feel that they are not acting normally and you suspect a head injury and are exhibiting the above symptoms, they may have a concussion. The impact test is a test designed to quantify the way your brain processes the information. It is not an IQ test. The test is subjective to each person. The results of the test will not be shared with anyone without the parent's permission and will only be used after concussion has been diagnosed and only as a means for comparison. If a concussion is suspected, your child would refrain from any cognitive and physical activity, being no reading, homework, computer work, TV, video games, exercise, and loud music. Basically, live in a cave. This is to be done until a medical doctor can evaluate and diagnose the injury. Once the injury is diagnosed by a physician, within 72 hours, a post-impact test will be given to determine the status of healing. If results are comparative to the baseline test, meaning they passed, a return-to-play protocol will be initiated to slowly reintroduce the cognitive and physical stresses. This will take approximately 5 days post passing the impact test. Throughout the process, the athletic trainer, myself, will be in contact with the treating physician, the school nurse, your son and daughter's counselor, and you, the parent. If you have any questions throughout this process, feel free to call myself at any time. Once they have passed the impact test, have a physician's release, and have completed the return-to-play protocol, they will then be allowed to return fully to their sport. Returning to school. The student can return to school when a physician releases them to, and they are feeling well enough to complete the day. Maine Township, in support of this policy, will counsel the student via the nurse and the student's counselor. It is okay to continue with schoolwork as long as symptoms do not appear or persist and is okayed by their physician. If they do, they should seek their counselor, the school nurse, the physician, or athletic trainer. Thank you for your time.
And now we're going to turn it back over to the program head coach who will answer any questions about hazing or bullying or any other topics in this presentation. I want to thank you again for being a part of our Hawk Athletic program and wish you the very best of luck this season.